Oh, yeah. Hey, folks. Hi, welcome. Could you all put your masks back up, please, inside the building? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keeping everyone safe. Wonderful for being here. Okay, just a reminder for those who just came in, please put your masks up. Great. I know a couple of you came in a little later. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, and that'll date me too. Please put your masks up, folks. Please put your masks up. Great. So I'm going to talk you through what the whole process will look like today, so you have a sense of what comes when and where. Then I'm going to read through the proposals. We were challenged in that the form that we used online had a limited number of characters. So for those of you who ask questions about why the proposals weren't more complete, that's why. So, and we're aware that some of the detail got truncated. We also hope you're aware, because we said it several times, that these are compilations of similarly themed proposals. So no one proposal, as complete as you may have been, was ever intended to stand on its own. Because the detail work for the final proposals will be done throughout the summer in groups. So this is really important, and by the end of Tuesday, we'll know what the groups are, and you will too. This is meant to include members and friends. So any of the youth that are here today get to be a part of this. And at the end of our time together, we'll be invited to vote along with the rest. The way this is going to work, I'll read the proposals, and you'll have about an hour to go in the chapel. There are 9 tables, 1 proposal per table. You're meant to be able to ask questions, to talk with other people who may gather at a table with you. There'll be a vision team member at the table who will have some information, be able to go back and forth, take any questions you may have. Then we're going to gather back in here for a more formal Q&A. And then you're going to go and put your body at the table of the proposal that you want to endorse. It is at that point that you will sign the sign-up sheet. So for vision team members, no one signs during the first part. Second part, sign. That's how you register your vote. I want to celebrate with you the fact that in excess of 70 people have already voted online. Right? Right? And so we're here to celebrate with you as that number increases. Okay, I think I got most of those notes. There will be one additional thing for the people who are online and voted online, who will learn more about the proposals now and through the Q&A. Their proposal may not advance after today. So they may have already voted, but the proposal may not advance. So understand the proposals with the most votes will be the ones that advance to get worked on this summer and come back in the fall with a fully detailed proposal. They will have an opportunity to recast a vote, and that will close at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. So by 5 o'clock on Tuesday, we're going to know which ones will advance, and we will then get the word out to you about which ones those are and who put their body with that team or cast their vote. The leadership will be chosen from that group, and there'll be additional instructions about making a more detailed proposal, complete with staffing, budget, etc. Good? Good? Okay. Will you, oh, sorry, yep. All the 9. All the 9. You have a chance to really look at it, having heard what the proposal is, right? And you may not choose to go to all the 9, but all the 9 will be open for any kind of questions or insight that you may want to gather. That's why an hour. Like, take your time. Any other, yep. You get 1 vote per person. And I know you're used to ranked choice. It's not happening, right? It's intentionally, this is forced choice. Yes, you can. Until 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Yep, you can. Anyone else? Process questions. Will you join with me in prayer? God, you blessed the chaos, and out of it came good, and you pronounced it good, and you blessed it, and you moved on to a next chaotic moment. Bless our chaos, and bless the good that will come out of this time, not just this time today, but this time of discernment, of question, of prayerful attention to what is calling this church, this community, forward in your service, in this time and this place. Bless the words we'll hear, the thoughts we'll share, the walking we'll do, the thoughtful moments we'll enter into silent reflection, and our opportunity to celebrate all that we are and all that we can be together. In the name of your Son, who said, "Go, be the church," in the name of us all. Amen. So, here is what was shared online. How many people have seen the online part? Okay, maybe you don't need this. Basically, members and friends were invited to take a look at this, 1 vote per person. Cindy just asked about, if you don't vote today, and voting is done by signing the sign-up sheet during the second round. Can you do that online before 5 on Tuesday? The answer is yes. So let me begin to share some of the proposals. The first one, Proposal A, is daycare here. So who's doing the daycare table? Who in the vision team? Okay, Jennifer. Okay, yeah. Already? Yes. Okay, Eric was going to curate those for me, so go ahead. Wow. Yes, and understand that, okay, so they would vote for one thing and want to serve on a different proposal. Yes, and probably good to make that clear, so that might be something that they could write, in the comment section. Next. Yeah, there'll be a slide up. Yeah, please don't just sit there, right. So, can I change what I voted for? Barbara said, but it still got asked after, so. Yes, you have until 5 o'clock on Tuesday to vote, change your vote. That's it. That's closing, and we are tracking names. You will still have to sign your name so we know which to move. That's it? Okay. Clear as mud? Clearer than mud? Yay. Okay, good. Yeah. Those came in as separate proposals, and the vision team will do that afterwards, after all the voting is in. I'm sorry, I can't hear you fully. Well, that's, so that is something we discussed yesterday morning. And there are some that overlap in scope. And we're aware of that as we begin to tier these. And you all have to be able to look at the same thing. So this is the way they were presented and compiled. So everyone is getting an opportunity to do the same thing at the same time. Let me give that some thought. Yeah. Yes, Jennifer, go ahead. Right. Right. Right, the final voting will be in the fall. So to your answer, yes, that's going to happen for the entire congregation. So just to say what Jennifer said again, and I would be doing that at the end of today, but I can do it plenty of times. When the proposals rise to the surface, when there is a team assembled, those proposals that come back in the fall for a final vote, and no, you're not limited to one proposal per congregation, but you are limited to one vote per person. Those will be high level, and in your doing that, you may say, we need this element included that was actually part of another proposal. You get to do that and make that decision. You also get to call in advisors. You're going to need to. These proposals will need to be very, very complete. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know you were looking for it. How about if somebody other than Alyssa runs the mic? Thank you, Hannah.
Is this on?
Yes.
An instance, I think, of what Anne was referring to is daycare. Daycare comes as the first proposal.
Right.
But it is mentioned in at least 2 other proposals.
Yeah. Daycare is a standalone. There may be elements of other proposals you want to consider. But the daycare one itself, which is where I'm going to start today, is really very comprehensive. So there will be other things that we'll probably need to fold into that. Yeah, Donald. Yep, it's on.
As with any thing you're trying to do in the actual world, I would encourage people to not get caught up in the perfect is the enemy of the good.
Yeah, thank you.
We've got something that we've got a tremendous resource here, and we need to do something. And, I'm not like a bull in a china shop. I just start, doing stuff, right? But, there needs to be more process than that. But let's not get trapped in the process. And yes, the details, we're gonna have a ton of time for details, a ton of time, and we're all gonna be sweating the details and gnawing those for a long time. So, but let's just, this is a tremendous opportunity, and let's get it moving.
Where I think there's a consultant available to you, I will mention that, probably during the second part of this morning. Yep, it's on.
Are there copies, written copies of the proposals here today?
No, what's available is available online. You can go back and refer to that, but everybody needs to have the same thing. What I'm reading from is what I submitted and then was told couldn't be included in detail because of the limited characters. So I wanted to give you that, and this is being recorded, so it will be available for you to go back and refer to online. Hannah's at the ready. Anyone else? Okay. So the daycare is, again, a compilation of a number of proposals that came in. The heart of this is that the daycare would be scaled or free according to financial circumstance, with particular attention to immigrants, refugees, single moms, and people who are marginalized. So that this is an opportunity, going back to the Praying with Our Feet group, to gather people upstream, right? To begin at the very beginning, to provide support for these kids and relief for these families so they have a chance to begin to get ahead. So this is an upstream effort. Some of the things that go along with this, the conversion of the Memorial Garden to a playground, or beyond the land east of the Memorial Garden to a playground, ground floor classrooms and kitchen space. The building would need to be assessed for safety, toxic materials, adequate infrastructure, meeting state guidelines. If you want state licensing, that will be imperative. If you don't, you have a little bit more leeway, but you're going to have to check with somebody on that. I happen to know you have somebody you might be able to check with on that. You will need trained staff. So you'll need to pay attention to people who are CPR trained, you know, those kinds of things. And you have a decision to make about curriculum. Some people have suggested daycare be faith-based. Some people have specifically suggested that because of immigrants and refugees, it not be, unless it's going to be world religion based. Okay? All right, the second one, B, this is about an environmental assessment of buildings and grounds. This is a comprehensive assessment. It covers a number of areas. One, in part, was mentioned just now in the daycare, for toxic materials, lead, right? Mold, all the things that you're going to need to do for any of the things that you have mentioned. However, it's a standalone because it's also covering an audit, an infrastructure audit, and an opportunity to project ahead what things you may need to budget for going forward in terms of any kind of building things. They're not asking for money out of this. They're saying, give us an opportunity to know what's coming through this audit so we can begin to plan. This would include the possibility of reducing your carbon footprint, so solar panels, to add to the good work you've already done. Let's see, that's that. So comprehensive. Any questions about that one? Yeah. Some of the add-ons, like solar panels and carbon footprint, et cetera, were add-ons. Some of it is baseline for doing almost anything, and any of what you've mentioned. So it had to be its own to get that in there. Okay. Contemporary worship. You want to grow in number. You also want to grow in depth of faith and an opportunity to share your faith with other people in the area. We know that vital churches and revitalizing churches need to reach out in ways that other people respond to. To have an opportunity to contemporary worship, to create a space here that's more intimate, more versatile, more available for a number of things that have shown up on these proposals, and to support the opportunity for contemporary worship. So, renovating the dining room space. I don't know what the space adjacent to it is called.
Cake room.
The cake room? Okay. That's why I didn't know. Okay. All right. So, renovating those areas with flexible seating, new wiring, new sound, streaming capabilities, an opportunity to display artwork on the walls in a rotating fashion, projection artwork, a variety of different approaches to worship. The flexible use of the space when not worshiping, which will go along with at least one other proposal that's come in. Having worship at alternate times, and reassessing the types of worship that are being currently offered. So that was all put together in that one. Questions? Okay. This one, the Educational and Community Conversation Hub. I had the honor and privilege of facilitating a discussion between a number of community leaders. And one of the things that came out again and again was you have an opportunity as a body to facilitate conversations. You're a place where hearts can talk to one another. And the request was, make that possible for this community, a safe place to have conversations on a number of levels. And when you look at your questions 3 and 4, a number of them came together. So, recreating the dining room and cake space to be more versatile, flexible seating, having an opportunity to have tables available for people to sit, a light meal served at some times, a variety of educational and bridge building programs sponsored with speakers or not. An upgraded security system comes along with this, a wide variety of community programs supported, a music education space. So an opportunity for there to be people who would come in and provide musical education for people of all ages, lectures highlighting spirituality, justice issues, environment, help for the homeless, connecting and creating conversation partners from a wide swath of community sectors, spaces for cancer support groups to gather, spaces for preteen coffee houses, a vacation Bible school, speakers of interest to college students, and church-sponsored spaces for more music. One suggestion that came in and stood on its own, so I put it in here as educational, was that the FCCB history be researched and rewritten regarding taking a deeper look at the social justice issues and First Church's involvement here and throughout time, because that is its own educational effort. Okay, any questions about that one? That's huge. Okay. So this next one is a focus specifically on building projects and renovation. Under this came some of the others. You'll see that repeated. Music education space, specifically storage for music, musical instruments, a performance space, educational and practice space, and a space to work with piano, so even voice. Somebody lifted up as a building project to consider truly affordable housing and advanced the suggestion of building a structure over the north parking lot of the chapel to have some affordable housing, actually right here on the campus. Install this, all these things came under this. Install a parking kiosk or use Park Mobile, have charging stations for electric vehicles out in the area, upgrade the sanctuary entrance for both visual appeal and safety, One person specifically suggested putting glass in the doors, a panel, so that you can see and not bonk somebody with the door. Bathrooms and showers in the space under the sanctuary. Another suggestion, and this is something you've already pointed to about the daycare space and kitchen established, ADA access to the second floor. Big. Modify the sanctuary for accessible pulpit and choir area. Very thoughtful. Let's see, ADA access to the memorial garden and the front lawn. Reconfigure the building space to generate income, so with an eye to that, and assessment and remediation of environmental hazards. Also, all building concerns. Any questions? Okay. One proposal was around activism, specifically focusing on the homeless, new American refugee and immigrant population and the marginalized, and looking at voter registration, and that would look like facilitating access rides, et cetera. A general category of help for the homeless, work with employers to provide living wage, and the suggestion was made to start with the FCCB staff to model this, helping people register to vote, and then one suggestion was to fund a journalist dedicated to reporting on Burlington social issues. Questions? Okay. Public facilities downtown, just what it sounds like. A place, and they were very specific, the people who wrote about this, showers, bathroom facilities, and laundry facilities, such that either tourists or the marginalized would feel comfortable using that space. The individuals, or the individual who wrote about this, just to lift up, there is something in many towns called laundry love, and that's something I'm suggesting that you research if you take this one on. Any questions? Okay, media upgrade. Also a component part of some of the other things that have been listed, and a standalone. A flexible camera system, wide angle, tracking the movements of the speaker, streaming from different areas of the building so that you've got that versatility as well, and a directional speaker system of high quality. So these things were pretty specific. I have to say, last Sunday I led worship in a congregation out in California that had one of those trackable cameras. That was amazing for the people who were attending online. Amazing. Questions, media upgrade? Okay. So the next one is Proposal I, and it is probably the most comprehensive. Basically, what it is the people who have suggested coming alongside current programming. So in your questions 3 and 4, many of you said, we do not want to reinvent turning wheels, right? So this is the category in which all the proposals for coming alongside current programming have been pulled together. So year-round support or membership in VIA, Vermont Interfaith Action, Vermont Conference Hope Fund, a time for outreach, and then a tithe for outreach. And people suggested the Racial Justice Alliance, OCWM, which is our church's wider mission. That is something that's also done through the Vermont Conference. And new support for current creative outreach. Now, some of the things that were detailed in this had to be cut because of the characters that were available. This would be substance abuse programming in town. This would be, supporting the work of somebody going in and doing that work in the communities. This would be, a number of the other things that are listed, so let me go back to those. One new suggestion was a nonprofit incubator to be held and launched out of this building. Also some affordable housing programs, informational programs, a capital funds endowment supporting JUMP, more financial support for current tenants to purchase homes throughout Burlington. Social services position on or affiliated with the Burlington Police Department. So this would be in response to the number of violences that we see because there's not a mental health professional there to assist the police. Financial restitution to Abnaki, African Americans. Somebody suggested funding a street pastor to fund small repair and improvements in low-income housing. And a Sunday of mourning for all the losses that have occurred, COVID-related, and now as we're seeing increasing violence, just a time to gather on Memorial Day in 2023. So all of those together so that they are coming alongside of current programming. Any questions? Yes?
Could you please explain the meaning of the word incubator in?
Yeah. In several cities throughout the nation, there's an opportunity for people who are doing startups, who have minimal funding or not an access to understanding what funding would be available to them, that come together, and the incubator part of it is that they have people available to tell them, here's a grant, here's this kind of thing. So it would be coming alongside current programming that probably is in the city, but people don't know how to find. So it would be an opportunity for people to come here, because they knew there was a space, and know there would be somebody that, if not available right then, that would be, they'd be put in touch with, so they could figure out how to grow their new program. So different cities call it different things. When I lived in Bloomington, Indiana, it was the Star Center, right? So does that make sense? Yeah. You're blessed in that you've got so many people who come here looking for a new life, right? A new opportunity. And because they do come from different countries and different degrees of socioeconomic access, they need help to figure out what is really available to them. And incubators are incredible for that. Anybody else? Okay. It is 20 of 12. I don't know how many questions you're going to have for the various tables. Jennifer's at Daycare. Who's at the environmental? Okay, Charlie. Worship? Worship? Yeah, it's me. Okay. All right, then. The educational programming? Rob. Building projects? Susan. Activism? Okay, let's put that aside. Say it again. 7 of us and 9 tables. So we, to be perfectly honest, we chose to have vision team members at the tables that already had the most votes, so that we would, be able to keep that growing and going. Not to say the others are less important. We just had to make a choice. Charlie?
Claire, I think we thought the proposal piece, the media operating might fit.
Yeah, Charlie, you're getting ahead of the process. I know, you're getting ahead of the process. Yes, but I didn't want to ask you to do worship. That's great. Okay, I'll do the activism, you do the worship. Public facilities downtown. I know Tony has I. Okay, perfect. Donna will take that one. Your honorary vision team member for this morning. All right. Go have a good time really thinking about these things and talking about them. Ask questions. Maximum of an hour, so back by 20 of 1 at the most. Alyssa, that's C. That's table C. Yeah. Back. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Is everyone out of the chapel? They're making, okay. Well, Mandy's already in. Okay, here's Simon. I can't hear you, Rob. Yeah, they're going to vote online. That's fine. It's an option. Anyone else left in there, Avon? Is there anyone else left in the big room, the chapel? Okay, thanks. Yeah, do you mind? Thank you. So, where did the microphone? Oh, God bless you, Hannah. Thank you. So, for the benefit of the people online, I'm wondering if there are folks here who would be willing to offer one new thing they learned. Just one new thing they learned, including the vision team. Did somebody ask you a question you weren't? Yeah. Sorry.
I learned that undergirding all of these wonderful proposals, or I was convinced, I was persuaded to think about it, was really, for me, a basic environmental assessment of all the property. And it seems as though it's a basic, and then we can go on to some of the others or incorporate some of the others. But I learned that my feeling that I'm not doing anything for people, it's just hard, cold information, which made me a little guilty, was really not necessary. I could feel good about both.
Good. Yay. Anybody else? Something you learned? Yep.
I didn't learn this just today, but one of the things that I hope you all realize is what's happening here right now doesn't happen in every church.
Oh, amen.
And to have Alyssa as your pastor, who is
Hold the mic closer.
to have Alyssa, who's the pastor, who's promoting this and who has confidence and is comfortable enough to hear other people's ideas, everybody, that is huge.
Yes, it is
And
huge.
so many churches, the agenda is the pastor's agenda, and if it doesn't go that way, then it doesn't happen.
Yes,
So
ma'am, you are blessed.
I think we should all be
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Somebody else? Something you learned? Any unanswered questions at this point? Tony, you keep kind of half putting your hand up. There you go. Okay.
I just became more aware that each of these proposals is very flexible.
Yes.
And so the driving part of the work to be done is going to really be within the people who sign up for that particular proposal, and then they can slip in ideas of their own, and if it gains traction, fine, and if it doesn't, that's fine too.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. This is why we kept it high level, was so that we could get big dreams, wide scope. Over the summer, things are going to narrow down so that when you get together in the fall, there are going to be much more specificity and numbers and understanding of dominoes and partners you can partner with. Whoever does building, I've got tons of resources for you. So there you go. We're good? So I know there are a number of people who are here who are anxious to get going. And I don't want to cut the process short. So again, I'm ready to say go vote. Let me review with you how voting works. You'll go to the table of the proposal that you want to vote for, and you will sign that sign-up sheet. Every table has a sign-up sheet. And the people who are online, or the people who have left and said, I'm going to vote online because they wanted some time to think about this, that closes by 5 on Tuesday. Right? Everyone heard that, right? Please pass that word. 5, Tuesday, done. And then we will assemble teams and let y'all know who you are, and the fine work of organizing can begin, and we'll give you what the final proposal has to cover. Fair enough? Go vote, have fun. Yeah, oh wait, whoa, one more thing. One time, one vote. Thanks, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. I was like, what?